Hi guys, welcome to Sociology AQA AS level. We are going to do topic 5, if you cannot read, and this is the role of education in society. So, the functionist perspective on education. They are consensus theorists who focus on the way schools create social cohesion and make effective use of human resources for the good of all. This sociologist argues that the main purpose for education is that it socializes kids into society's norms and values. They believe that value consensus is more important than academic subjects. If the children can cooperate with others, this creates social solidarity, which is beneficial in the workplace. Talcott Parsons says that education is the bridge between the home and the wider society, where wider society has universalistic standards where everyone lives by the same rules, and particularistic standards where there will be specific things done. For example, the older sibling will have more chores to do. The school socializes children into norms of wider society. Davis and Moore talks about role allocation. They see the education sorting students into different careers depending on their abilities, as society is a meritocratic system where inequality is necessary for high achievers to get the most important jobs. For example, you might not want someone to treat you who doesn't have the ability to cure your illness, as possibly you could die. So evaluation of functionist perspective. Melvin Schumann criticizes Davis and Moore for putting forward a circular argument, which is, how do we know what jobs are the most important, which is the ones that are highly paid, and then it's, how do we know which ones are highly paid, the ones that are most important, right? It keeps going round and round and round and round and round. The education system does not teach specialized skills, as Durkheim claims. Studies claim up to a third of 16 to 19-year-olds are on courses that don't lead them to jobs, but not everyone wants to go to higher education and want to go straight into a job. Marxists argue that education in capitalist society only transmits the ideology of a minority, the ruling class. Functionalists wrongly imply that pupils passively accept all they are taught and don't reject school values. For example, school subcultures can reject school values. Neoliberals and the New Right argue that state education systems do not prepare students adequately for work, which we will see later on in this presentation. We do see it now! So, neoliberals and the New Right believe that the education system is not achieving its goals because it is run by the state. They believe that there should be an education market. Chubb and Moe talk about consumer choice and continue this idea of an education market, as they did a study that found the state-run education system in the US failing because of unequal opportunities, failing to produce pupils with the skills they need for the economy, and private schools deliver higher quality education because they are answerable to paying consumers, which is their parents. They call for a market system to shape schools to meet their own needs and improve the quality. They propose a system in which the family would be given a voucher to spend on buying education from a school of their choice, which means schools will become more responsive to parents' wishes, as the vouchers would be the main source of income, as they want vouchers. It's like basically going to a fun fair and you get given tokens. They want you to spend the tokens on any stall of your choice. And in order for you to choose a stall, there would be specific things that would attract you. Like a school, they would need to be more responsive and attract you with different things that you would like. So they won't totally ignore the state running the education system, but do have two roles for the state, which is imposing a framework on schools within which they have to compete against each other. For example, Ofsted reports and league tables help create this competition, as the ones that have the better exam results from their students, parents will have more informed choice about what schools are better. And another role is to ensure that the school transmits a shared culture, for example, the national curriculum in schools which socialize pupils into a single cultural heritage. But Marxists argue that the education system devalues the culture of ethnic minorities and the working class. This is evident in the ethnic differences in achievement topic, as there is an ethnocentric curriculum that devalues a minority's culture. Marxist perspective of education, they are conflict theorists, and they focus on the way the school divides society by reinforcing inequality. Here are some key concepts that you can read. Althusser talks about the ideological state apparatus. He sees that there are two apparatuses which serve to keep the bourgeoisie in power. The repressive state apparatuses which serve to keep the bourgeoisie in power by force. This includes the police, or force to repress the working class. The ideological state apparatuses which keep the bourgeoisie in power by controlling people's ideas. The ISAs include religion, media, and the education system. The education system reproduces class inequality by failing each successful generation of working class in turn, and justifies class inequality by persuading workers to accept that inequality is inevitable and will be less likely to threaten capitalism because they accept this idea. Bowles and Gintis argue that the working class majority of school students are discouraged from thinking for themselves and are occupied with dull tasks and rewarded for being punctual and obedient, so they can be used to the regime they would encounter in factories. This hidden curriculum influenced students' expectations to have dull ambitions for working class and developing confidence for middle class. The close resemblance between the school regime and the future work conditions is called the Correspondence Principle. This is where school discourages the questioning what teachers tell them, which makes them passive. Tasks are dull and repetitive, like factory work. Rewards are extrinsic, where the benefit of schoolwork is the grade, likewise in the workplace is the money. Identical uniforms and punishments for punctuality, and constant supervision prepares them for factory work. Paul Willis did a book called Learning to Labour, How Working Class Kids Get Working Class Jobs, and he observed and interviewed 12 British working class boys. The boys had fatalism for their destiny as factory workers, and members of the working class saw no relevance in education. Their failure in education resulted from their working class culture as opposed to the way the school operate. Willis's study recognizes the influence of class inequalities on the attitudes of these boys and their families. Some criticisms are that Bowles and Gintis and Willis's studies are contradictory, as working class students are destined for factory work because they are easily handled, and in the end because of their failure to conform. Willis's study is criticized for its small sample. He only studied 12 people, so it's not representative. Marxists, like functionalists, focus on how schools shape students' attitudes and prepare them for work. Marxists view this process as class-based, which promotes bourgeois students and restricts proletarian students, regardless of their ability to reproduce capitalist society. Thank you guys for watching. For sociology, I will only be doing the policy topics in education, families and households, and for research I will probably do experiments and the first topic, because these are difficult and easy to forget in the exam. I have created a little memory game where you can test yourself on keywords and key concepts, which will be very useful in the exam. And also check in the description my plan for what I'm trying to upload. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great day. Love ya.